Notorious Everton gangster Daniel G was a known bully who was on a power trip, a big one. Probably the main member of the G crime family, Daniel G, who considered himself Mr. Big, had caused real trauma and heartache to those in the Grizedale estate. The G family had operated a well-run 24-hour open-air drug market in the early 2000s, thanks to the Class A supply coming through the docks and motorways. Police say that once the G crime family, but more specifically Daniel and Darren G, turned to robbery and taxing, the booming drug market was the most logical step. A former police officer even went on record to say that the G crime family at one point were earning around £20,000 a week through the selling of white and H. Moms and dads and teenagers were selling H and white around the clock using pay-as-you-go mobile phones. Runners were then sent on bikes to complete the deal. Grizedale was ruled by fear. Daniel G made clear examples out of people. That included 16-year-old Jamie Starkey. Jamie Starkey, who had grown up in the area also, the same area as the G crime family, had become a target of Daniel G, and Daniel used Jamie as a ragdoll. Jamie was so terrorized by Daniel's constant harassment that at first he tried to shut it off. However, the 16-year-old was soon completely broken when Daniel G started targeting James's mentally ill mom. Jamie had been robbed, he had been left with hooks and uppercuts, his friend had been held captive in a derelict building, clothes taken and then stoned. All the windows in Jamie Starkey's home on Rockfield Road were broken, leaving his sister covered in glass. His brother's car was then rammed. So Jamie Starkey, who had learning difficulties, managed to get himself a Colt 45. And on New Year's Eve, Daniel G finally understood what it meant to test a person who had had enough. Daniel G had been chauffeured around in his £60,000 Range Rover at roughly 5:30 a.m. when he was celebrating New Year's. Daniel G and his mates were outside a pub on Walton Breck Road when Jamie Starkey happened to pass by. Now Daniel G and Jamie Starkey were involved in an intense standoff which lasted roughly 15 minutes. During that time, a friend of Daniel's made a promise to strike Jamie with Am. It was then alleged that Jamie, who had been drinking himself, went back to a derelict home, retrieved a Colt 45 and went back to the scene. Daniel, who was commonly called Danny in the area, was heard screaming, "Shh me now or I'm going to kill your mother." In a reaction, Jamie aimed a pistol and then pressed the trigger. Daniel was struck with ammo in the stomach. It tore through the lungs and then went out the back. Now Daniel, being the madman that he was taken to hospital where he refused treatment. Police attempted to interview Daniel in the aftermath about the incident, but he told police, "I fell over, mate." Daniel then winked and added, "But don't worry, I'll get the CUN." A month later, Jamie was arrested at his home where the Colt 45 was located. And when interviewed, Jamie says that he had had the GUN because he wanted to scare Daniel G, put an end to the torment. Now Jamie Starkey was jailed for wounding with intent and also possession of a pistol. He was jailed for 7 years, but was out in 3.5 years. Daniel G had also put in motion a hit on the Everton man in response, which sadly would be carried out. Stay safe.